Hey there, this is your girl Promise, my checkup, but surely you can call me Prom Z, the girl with the positivity. Thank you so much for clicking onto this video. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're back, welcome. Please do me a favor and like this video should you like it. Hit that red subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you're notified of any new video, and don't forget to comment on the comment section down below. I would really love to hear from you. It is the end of 2021. Time flew. It flew, and this year has been a crazy year. There have been a lot of lows, but there have been highs to match up for that. Thank the Lord. So today I'm going to be telling you some of the 15 lessons that I learned throughout the course of this year. So let's get into the video. The first lesson that 2021 taught me is that change is inevitable. Change is really bound to happen in your life, even when you least expect it. And the thing about change is that it doesn't matter if you feel like you've got your life strategized, you've got a certain formula that you're gonna follow, or you've put in the right infrastructure for things to hum and go line. Change is bound to happen. Change is inevitable, and I experienced that when I stepped into the real world and just saw how everything was just so different in comparison to just really being in a shelter of just high school, living with your parents, and all that stuff. Like, change is really bound to happen. You are definitely not going to stay as this one stagnant person throughout the course of your life. There's so many challenges that rise as you grow older that really shape you and help you to just enter into new levels of environments. But also it also shapes your perspective on life, and change is definitely bound to happen. So that is lesson number 1. Lesson number 2 is that God will allow you to hit rock bottom to reveal his glory. Honestly speaking, for the past couple of years, my life has been smooth sailing. I've been at peace, I've been happy. But again, things were on bar. Even though there were a couple of challenges that I faced, I was able to just wing them. And then throughout the course of this year, I hit so many rock bottoms. I feel like I hit the ground so many times, whether it be mentally, emotionally, academically, spiritually. It's been hectic. But in those moments, I think those moments were very necessary for me to be reminded of the power and the glory of God. Sometimes we get so comfortable in our comfort zone, so to say, so much that it makes us forget the power that God has. And it's in those moments where we're in the pits where we need him, and when we call out to him, he is faithful to show up. So that is, he will allow you to hit rock bottom. He will allow storms to come, and it's not to harm you but it's not to harm you but to prosper you. Hey. And in those moments it's like, this thing ain't trying to prosper me, but it definitely is there to just shape your character and help you to become a better person overall. Number 3 is never suffer in silence. This is one thing that I struggled with for the longest time in my life. I'd go through things and I'd suffer in silence. Like, no cap, it's not even funny. It's not funny. Okay. Don't suffer in silence. I think it's very important that you never keep things within, never bottle things. If you don't feel comfortable with talking to people, try to journal down what you're feeling. Try to express yourself in different forms. Some people express themselves in music, etc. But I think it's really important that you just pray and ask God to bring about people that will create a platform in which you're comfortable to talk. Everybody is going through the most, even people that look happy, especially the ones that look happy. Everyone is going through the most in my life, and never suffer in silence. I think it's so important that we grow to learn to speak. And the fourth thing that I learned this year is that it's important who you vocalize to. And as much as speaking is very important and uttering what is going on within you, it's very important who you vocalize all these things to. Whether it be your dreams, your goals, your ups, your downs, your highs, your lows. It's so important who you vocalize, who you vocalize to. And this also comes with the discernment, or just that gut feeling. And I think it's something to pray about, to be like, Lord, please, definitely show me which people I could really warm up to, because you never really know the intentions of people. Sometimes you can just border, go utter everything you need to utter, and then someone uses it against you. You get my vibes. But it's so important who you vocalize to. But speak. Babe. Number 5 is God's grace will carry you where you fall short. This is one thing that I really love about God's grace, is that it will carry you. I've been carried. I've already carried. Throughout the course of this year, I was carried. My own strength was failing me. Literally, my own strength was failing me. It was like everything that I had known had shoes, and I really needed to depend on God's grace to carry me. I don't know how I made it through a lot of things that occurred within the course of this year, but it is the grace of God. And what's beautiful about it is a scripture where Paul is talking about the thorn in the flesh, and he says, I cried out to God and I asked him to take out this thorn out of my flesh. And the word that came was, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in your weaknesses. And that is a powerful scripture. That's a powerful word. And then he continues to say is that when I'm weak, I am strong. And I'm not strong because of my own strength, but I'm strong because of strength that I have in Christ. And so God's grace is able to meet you at your weakest points. God is not a man that should mock you. He ain't finna mock you when you're down and beaten up and No, his grace is really going to carry you, and his love is going to be made evident if you let him in. Number 6 is don't lock yourself in a shell, bloom and live life. Guys, I have a scenario. It's not a scenario, it's a real event that actually happened in life. Okay, so earlier in the year, I'm afraid. Ish, guys, 2021 is finished, man. Okay, but this year I was a first year student, and the first month of school, I literally locked myself in the room, and I wasn't really exploring the environment. I was on fun. You know what? Let me make sure my things are on check, that I find my feet and everything. And let me talk about the first week. The first week, I literally didn't go out until the Friday. And I started to create a cycle where I was slowly isolating myself, which is really not nice, because you will suffocate. Let me tell you, you will suffocate. You will suffocate yourself. So it's so important that in life that you don't live in a shell. Break free from the shell. Break free from your comfort zone. Break free from the cozy spots. Get out there. Live. Venture into what you need to venture into. Don't deter yourself. Don't limit yourself. Don't restrict yourself. Go out there and live. Get what I'm saying? Do what you need to do. Baby boy, baby girl. Pila. Go out there and live. Don't restrict yourself. Number 7 is nature has a serene and healing power. I have always thought that I've always thought that I was an outdoor person, but in reality, most of the time, I'd always lock myself in the house and not really, I don't want to. So, throughout the course of this year, I learned that nature has a healing power, and it's important to go outside and enjoy the beauty that God created. There's trees outside that produce a lot of oxygen that you need in order for your brain to be, to be stimulated, for the blood to flow. I don't know if I'm accurate, but you get my vibes. It has a healing power. It's serene, it's quiet. You really get to just unwind in nature. Just listening to the birds chirping, the water's going, do that for yourself. Do it. Just go outside, take a walk, take a jog, breathe the air. Don't be, what's that word? What? Let me not try so hard today. Number 8 is sometimes the direction towards the vision will be blurry. Yo, guys, this was a hard one for me. I don't like it when things are not clear. I don't like it when there's no clarity, it's clear to see. I feel like I'm the type of person who likes to plan, and I really want my plans to work out the way I envisioned it. But throughout the course of this year, I was like in the wilderness, like the Israelites in the wilderness, not knowing whether if I turn left or right, straight, north, south, east or west, where I will end up. The vision has moments where the direction is not clear. Sometimes you feel like, I'm not doing the right one here. God, where are you? I have said, hooray. The vision will sometimes be blurry. And I've come to understand, hooray. Imagine if you knew the whole story. Imagine if you knew every little detail of what's going to happen in order for you to get to where you need to be. You probably will not be interested. It will not have a sense of fascination. If you see some of the hardships that you probably need to go through in that whole, that whole blueprint, fine print of how things should turn out, you're probably going to be like, I'm sorry, I could do something else. So the vision can be blurry. It feels like you're in a wilderness, but those moments are needed, and it's in those moments where your faith is being tested, and your faith gets really tested in those moments, and it's a character development phase. You're being refined to test whether you really want whatever that you envisioned, to test whether you'll have the strength to manage the heaviness of the blessing that you want to acquire. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, but yeah, it definitely is gonna be blurry, but hold on, keep going. Number 9 is find joy in waking up each morning. Treat each day like a new adventure. Sometimes waking up throughout the course of this year was difficult. I even questioned, why am I waking up? Why? But sometimes you have to get to a point where you train your mind, where you're not allowing your mind to just meander, to just go up and down with negative thoughts. You have to put your foot down and tell your mind, no, we're not going to think negatively about life. And it starts with finding joy in each day, waking up with the right mentality, which is the hardest thing to do sometimes. But waking up and saying, today is another day. I woke up, I'm alive, I'm not in a hospital bed, I'm not 6 feet under. It means there's something that I'm here to do. And so treat each day as an adventure. If it means having to do a to-do list so that it's more exciting and you're not just sitting down doing nothing, do that. Treat each day like an adventure, because life is an adventure, guys. It's an adventure. You need to treat it like you're in the movies. No, don't do that. That's bad advice, but take it sometimes. Okay, 10. Gratitude will help you realize how blessed and wealthy you are. This is something that I definitely need to, work on, finding gratitude every single day. When you're thankful, you start to begin to see how blessed you are, and you start to realize that there's some things that you have that other people don't have, and therefore you're blessed, you're wealthy. Sometimes wealth is not about the money or the materialistic things, but the inner wellness and mental health and spiritual sanity, like those things. Are you fine as a person? You could have things, but are you fine? Are you fine? Count your blessings and appreciate them and thank God. Yeah. Number 11, when life feels complex, just go back to the basics. This is a big one as well, because when life gets complicated, we don't want to go back to the basics. We feel like the basics is like, oh, such a drag. But when I think about this, it's like, I need to make sure that the foundation of my life is on par, that I use the right concrete, that I didn't just use soil. Yeah, soil. There's a word that's where Jesus is like, you must build your house on the rock and not on soil, because if you build a foundation on soil, something that is easily, but again, it can easily wash away when the storms comes, etc., then it's pointless. But go back to the basics, go back to the simple things, go back to just, even if it means like you're not feeling good about yourself, go back, look at yourself in the mirror and be like, hey, I'm beautiful, I'm smart, I'm intelligent, I am capable. Go back to the basics. If it means having to love others, take it bit by bit, go step by step, because if you're trying to climb there, it will be easier to fall down if you haven't followed the right steps. Number 12 is don't be too hard on yourself. You're the only person that can do you the best way. And this could mean comparing yourself to other people and their journeys, and feeling as if you're not in the right space or you're not adequate enough, etc. Don't be hard on yourself. It has been a hectic 2 years with the pandemic. Everyone's been going through something. There's no way no one can tell me that they're going through nothing. We're all going through it. Don't be too hard on yourself. You're doing well. You're doing good. And treat yourself like $1 million. My thing is, people can say and think anything about you. But if it is you that now starts to think negatively of yourself, then you sort of like defeated. You have the power to transform your life, and only you. It is in your hands. And don't be too hard on yourself. Look at the things that you've accomplished. Be grateful. Pat yourself on the back, and just see that you're doing well. You're doing well. Don't be hard on yourself. Don't be. And always trust God's timing. Because I think another thing about being too hard on yourself is the timing. Like, you should have been at this space in life at this certain time and you're not there yet. Don't be too hard on yourself. Remain faithful. Do what you need to do and just be thankful. The last two, 13 is progress is much better than perfection. Usually the aim is to be perfect. Usually that's the goal. But I've realized that there's nothing wrong with wanting to be perfect. However, if your obsession is with perfection, then every time you try and you don't reach that level of perfection, you'll be easily discouraged. Unlike you appreciating the progress, it's so important to appreciate the progress, to acknowledge the progress, and to thank yourself for making progress. More like progress is much better than perfection. It's about really taking it step by step to reaching that goal. Even though it means that you might not reach it immediately, but at least you're working towards it. You get me? 14 is consistency is key. This is a big one, and this is one in which I really tried my best to be as consistent as I can in terms of the things that I started, knowing that I need to continue until we get to the end. Consistency is key, especially in moments where you feel like your hard work is all in vain. Especially in moments where you feel like no one is noticing. Especially in moments where you feel like giving up. It's so important to be consistent. because consistency reveals a level of integrity, reveals a level of seriousness in whatever that you're trying to do. It shows your commitment to it. If you can't be committed to whatever that you're trying to achieve, why should other people be committed to it? So always show up. And also, you never know which chance is a chance that is going to bring about the breakthrough. If you keep making excuses to show up, you might be prolonging the probability of your breakthrough to come to pass. You need to keep going until the breakthrough shows up. One day it will, and it will shock you. So just keep being consistent. 15 is that love exists. Love exists in this world that feels so messed up. Love is there, it is genuine, it is real. I first discovered love in God. You get me? I mean, like, I got to experience the love of the Father. And I continue to in my daily life, and it's the love that really has empowered me to be the person that I am. I don't think I was going to be out here if it weren't for the love of God, and there's love within people. And sometimes it's kind of rare to grasp it, or to get it, or to understand it, or to even find it. But love exists, and if you are yearning for that, start off with God. And also be a channel for it. Don't be out here hating. Give out love where it is needed and due. You know, just give it out. Love, love, love. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel throughout the course of the year. It has been crazy. These are the lessons I've learned, and I hope that these are lessons that you could relate to, you know. Hit the comment section and just tell me what's good, what's poppin'. I love you guys so much, and I hope that you have a great year next year in 2022. I love you.